So if you have any issues at all logging into your cPanel from your hostgator account, remember to check your email. And your email is going to have all the details for hosting into your hostgator account and also the cPanel, which is the control panel for the package that you've just registered. So remember, there's two logins. There's one for the HostGator site itself, and then you'll have a second login that you need to log in into that particular package, because you might have, well, you won't at this stage more than likely, unless you already had a HostGator account, but you may down the track have multiple packages. So just remember, check your email. The link to your cPanel will be there, as well as the username and the password. And it will look exactly like the one that I've just received in my inbox, which is like this. I'm going to black out my password and username, of course, but at least you can see that all the information is here. So if I go and click on the link to my cPanel, which is this one here, your control panel, it will open up my control panel login details here. So I'll just type in my username and my password. Well, I'll paste my password in there. Okay, so this is the control panel for the package that we've just set up. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of features on here, and don't get confused, because we're only going to use a small portion of them, and I'll show you how to navigate through it all, but do familiarize yourself with it. Obviously, with these special offers up here, you can mostly ignore all of this, although we will be using the Get Started with WordPress. So there's actually another link down the bottom we can use for that. HostGator links, we won't really need to use any of that at the moment. Preferences, we won't need to use any of that. Mail preferences will probably come to later when we come to setting up email stuff. Files, don't worry about any of that at the moment. So logs, security, that's all stuff we'll come to later. Domains, we'll definitely be looking at domains very shortly. Databases, you won't need to worry about any of that at the moment, especially if you're a beginner. You can just leave that right alone. Software and services, there should be a WordPress link down here. They do change this around occasionally. The quick install, we're going to be using the quick install to install our WordPress, and it does it all for you. So just remember that link there where it says quick install and advanced. Don't worry about any of that at the moment. But what I am going to do right now, if you scroll right down the bottom, there's some very interesting things down here on the left-hand side. This is really handy. So website traffic, if you can just see here on the left at the top, and our domain extension is here, paulmorris.online. Now, if I click the check down box here, it's not going to show anything else. But if we registered additional domains, we could add them to this package, and they would show up here as well. And it would mean that we could select which domain we wanted to see the traffic stats on, and it would show us here. So that's a really handy little tool. Don't worry about the backup status, not at the moment. Statistics, this is all, interesting statistics which, are handy at a glance type stuff, but you don't need to worry about any of that at the moment, as well as all the rest of this information. What we do want to look at, if we go all the way down the bottom here to the account information, and it tells us package, baby croc, and it gives us the IP address here and the server name, and right below that it says name servers. This is really important. See how the first one, it says NS hostgator.com, hostgator.com. These are the name servers. that we are going to be using to direct from our GoDaddy. We're going to direct our domain at GoDaddy. We're going to direct that and associate it with our HostGator account. And what we do is we simply just copy and paste these name servers here. So highlight the first one, right mouse click, and select and press copy. Okay, you can put this into a notepad if you want. I might just do that quickly for just so I've got it handy. So I'll do the bottom one as well. They're almost identical, except the second one at the bottom has a slightly different number. Okay, I'll just close that notepad. And it's just got some other information here like home directory, but you don't need to worry about any of that at the moment. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our GoDaddy account. So go over, you should have already have an account because we've already previously registered that domain name. And domains, you should hopefully go straight to this page and click the domains button or link. And if we go down, paulmorris.online, find the domain. If this is a first time for you, you won't have any others, but obviously I have quite a few. So go to the domain name that you've registered that you want to use and go over to the right hand side and click Manage DNS. Now, if for any reason you've ended up on a different page because there is one other layout depending on which way you enter or get into this, and I'll try and show you in a second. Okay, DNS management for paulmorris.online. So if we come down here and it says name servers, using default name servers. So this is the default name servers for GoDaddy, but we want to change them. So you can click change and it will come up with default. You come down to where it says custom and then enter those new name servers. Now, I don't need to copy and paste from my notepad because I know what it was. And then you just click save. So what that is doing now is it is redirecting your domain that you've registered at GoDaddy. It's now directing it to work on the HostGator platform. So now your HostGator cPanel here will recognize that domain name, so that when we generate our WordPress site is going to work while being hosted by HostGator. I hope that makes sense. It should do. And just what I was saying before is sometimes if you come from a different area of the GoDaddy site, it just looks a bit different. So don't get confused, but you need to find the domain here. If I go up here, if I end up in this grey panel here and go manage my domains, it might just look slightly different. So see here, it's just come up with these big white boxes. That's when I went to the top right drop down menu and, oh, was it? No. Press go, no. If you just go to the home page, GoDaddy, and then press the drop down menu, this grey box comes up, click manage my domains. And it comes up like this. It's simply, it's all the same thing. It just looks a bit different entering that part. So you just go to find the domain name that you want to change the name servers on. So paulmorris.online is right here. All you need to do is click the little gear sign up in the top right hand corner of the white box, go manage DNS, and we'll pretty much end up in the very same management window that we ended up in before. So here you can see I've already changed them. There's no need to change them. Everything that we need to do here on GoDaddy is done. We pretty much don't need to come back to GoDaddy at this stage, all things being equal. In saying that, there is a little step down the track that I'm going to introduce you to, but that's for a later video. So at the moment, we've redirected the name servers and they're hosted on GoDaddy. All we need to do now is actually generate that WordPress site using the quick install, and our WordPress site is pretty much ready to go. But one last thing, because we have just redirected our name servers to HostGator, it will take time to propagate. So this is not an instant change. They say that it can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before that change is actually propagated throughout the network. When I say that, what I mean is throughout the global server network. Okay, so don't expect to be able to go to HostGator and set up your WordPress site and have it work instantly. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. First of all, I'm just going to show you the site whatsmydns.net. So if I type in here, it's already my drop-down menu, www.paulmorris.online, click this drop-down and go to NS for name server and press search. You're going to see all these little red crosses come up. That's because globally all the nodes and the servers have not recognized that we've redirected that domain name from GoDaddy to HostGator. And you pretty much have to wait until these are little green checks before your WordPress site is going to work. We can still go ahead and set up our WordPress site. That's not a problem. We can set the site up, but if you type in the address, it's not going to find it. So in this next video, we're going to look at the quick install and getting all that set up. Okay, but just remember, if you do it all straight away, you may not have results straight away.